That's loud. Good morning. I would say we are on the tranquil Chester River, but the traffic behind me is anything but tranquil right now. Get a few minutes of a reprieve. And then it starts up again. These are some awfully nice homes on the water here. This is the Chester River. We are in Chestertown, Maryland today. I didn't know where I would be this morning, actually. I had a few thoughts because of the weather. Left my home this morning and it was bright and beautifully sunny. This is an historic Maryland bridge here crossing the Chester River. It is a drawbridge. I had intended to walk across the bridge from Kingstown into Chestertown. The traffic is just too heavy. And I'm going to back up a little bit now because folks are not minding the speed limit today, if they ever do. So just across the Chester River to the east of where we are now is the town of Kingstown, Maryland, just over this drawbridge. And I was going to start there and walk across the bridge into Chestertown, but it's a bit dangerous to do that. There's a really super narrow sidewalk here. But there is an historic marker. Let's see that nice old lantern there. The historic marker says the Chester River Bridge, dedicated to the ex-servicemen of Kent County and Queen Anne's County in Maryland. And then this designation in the National Register of Historic Places. This bridge. Hey, Roby, good morning. And then I just found this. Always look up, always look down. This is a marker from the National Geodetic Survey. It says, I know it's hard to see, 1988. And it says it's a vertical control mark, A69 reset. So it's all about measuring locations all across the United States, placing permanent markers in places for future measurement to measure how maybe the land is shifting. So that's pretty cool. But we are here on this side of the bridge in Chestertown, Maryland. I left my home. It was bright and sunny. It's pretty dreary over here. I wasn't even sure if I was going to come here or someplace else this morning, but we'll make the most of it today. Chestertown was established in 1706. It is the county seat of Kent County, Maryland. Or Queen Anne. Oh, heck. Have I made a mistake? Is it Kent or Queen Anne? It's Kent County. It's Kent County. I always get confused because Kent Island is Queen Anne's County, but this is Kent County, Maryland. So dating back to 1706, and plenty of residences here built in the late 1700s, early 1800s. Oh, thank you, Roby. Oh, I know that we have to spray to keep our roses from being eaten. I like these little ones. Is that morning glories? I call everything purple a morning glory. I have no idea what it is, but this looks very invasive, so it looks like yikes. Looks like morning glory. I'm gonna get off of this big street. This is just crazy. So as I was saying, lots of history, and the word quaint will be used in excess today. Check that out. That beautiful tree, whatever it is, all the blossoms to the sidewalk. Okay, trucks. I'm not even gonna try to cross the road. You can just see a beautiful Queen Anne type residence poking out from behind all those flowers. But let's cross over and get a better look and get away from this loud, annoying road. Oh, that's right, your bee. Yeah, so you can't do that. Can't harm the bees. Take a look at this one. Here we'll get quite a mix. Oh, this one's for sale. Hello, a condo for sale. How nice. We will get such a mix today of brick and wooden structures. Lovingly, historically preserved throughout this beautiful small town on Maryland's Eastern Shore. So it was bright and sunny when I left my house this morning. And as soon as I got over the bridge, it got cloudy. I was so disappointed. Now this is a truly historic structure here. 1726. Wow. That is an amazing example of early colonial architecture. Here, good morning, here on Maryland's Eastern Shore. 1726 for this one. Wish there were gas lamps. Hope everyone's having a great morning this morning. I'll be kind of quiet because the residences are right here. We're just a few steps from the kind of the town square, but the residences are right here. Check this one out. Oh, I wish we could get some sun today. I'll have to come back with a real camera. That's a good one. And then this one looks like it was a boarding house, a school, something quite prominent in the neighborhood. Oh, there's a symbol. There's a plaque. So if we're playing Main Street Bingo today, we've already gotten historic plaque on homes. We've got a horse post here or two. And the historic plaque, oh, it's numbered. So it's Chestertown Historic District, and this is number 62. So there's probably a tour, or at least a guide. Wonderful. We'll go down this street. We'll photograph or film one side of the street, and then we'll come back up the other, because I do want to go back to that noisy Main Street. There's a lot to see there, but I want to get away from that bridge. These are quite stately. Now these are the ones on the water. So where we started on the Chester River, these are the homes that back onto that beautiful, beautiful river here on the eastern shore of Maryland. But check these out. I mean, these would have been multi-family units, I think. Or, I mean, could they have been mansions back in the day? Maybe. They were right on the water. Check this one out. I mean, we saw that sign for condo for sale. Makes one think that they're divided up now, which would make good sense, but I'm actually quite surprised. So this probably speaks to some wealth here in Chestertown, dating way back to the 1700s. Fantastic. Now, what would be going on here in Chestertown? Well, we're on the water. We're on the Chester River. So the seafood industry, oysters, clams, crabs, and all form of seafood here. Also, we are just a hop, skip, and a jump from all the farms on Maryland's eastern shore. Tomatoes, beans, corn, wheat, anything else you can think of would be grown here. This is farm country. Just like central Maryland is farm country, the eastern shore is farm country too. And Chestertown being on one of the tributaries into the Chesapeake Bay was a protected community. I don't know if we'll see any references to the War of 1812 here. Plenty of action around St. Michael's, and then the ports west of the Chesapeake Bay. But I'm not sure Chestertown, so we'll have to look out for some historic markers. Oh, this is just charming. Absolutely charming. That word will be used quite a bit today. Roby, I'd take any of them. And they all have beautiful mature trees. Very nice gardens. Oh, and we're just getting started. Morning. And this one, we go from 1700s to 1800s. Good morning, Johnny. How are you? I lost my sunshine today. I left my house and it was sunny, and here it's overcast. So my video is not going to turn out the way I want, and I had planned to film with my real camera. I don't know if that's going to work today. I need more sun. We're back up to the road where we started. The road where I heard from, so Wild West Nomad, who you see in my chat, I learned that she is in Denver and she live streams walks like I do. And yesterday she said she couldn't because of the snow in Denver. Holy moly. All right, we're back on this very loud main road. We won't be here very long. Well, well, I crossed the Chester River. You didn't, because I didn't stream because it's just too much traffic. From Kingstown to Chestertown, Maryland. Now, check this out. If you're playing Main Street Bingo with us, we have the historic plaque on homes. We've already gotten that one. Check this out. That is beautiful. Look at the detail work. Look at the detail work up on the roof line. Dude, the speed limit is 25. The speed limit is 25. As you can see, look, speed limit, 25. No one is doing 25, and especially across that bridge. There is a sidewalk across the bridge, but it's too narrow. I started out the stream there. There's also a National Geodetic Survey marker there. That's always a great find when we can find those. You'll find those if you just look up and look down in different places. This one is actually in the rail, like the concrete rail of the bridge. And it's a vertical measurement marker. The last thing I need to do is start another completist journey and try to find as many National Geodetic Survey markers as I can. Hello, MS. Sasquatch from Canada. Good morning. Will, it's great to see you. Good morning. Check this one out. This has an early 1800s feel to it. Why? Because of the roof line. It's quite a nice one. But look at this just beautiful entrance. If you're coming into Chestertown, I think this would be the principal way to come into Chestertown, over the Chester River Bridge. You are greeted with some magnificent residences. From as far back as the 1700s, but plenty from the 1800s as well. There's little 1800s there, little late 1800s. Look at that one. That's a Queen Anne to the max. Now we are in Kent County, Maryland, but Kent County is right next to Queen Anne's County. The county seat of Queen Anne's County is Centerville, Maryland, which isn't too far from here. And we've been to Centerville, Maryland's town square. We played small town bingo in Centerville. And there's a beautiful statue of Queen Anne. And that statue was dedicated by the current Princess Anne, the Princess Royal. And that was a bright sunny day, by the way. So check out that stream, Centerville, Maryland. It's so great to see preserved architecture and American flags up and down these little streets. We'll do a circle and come back up this street. We are heading to the town square. Good morning, everyone. We are headed to the town square, and I already saw a bonus that we're going to get. So if you have your small town bingo card, and if you don't, you can find it in the community section of my channel. The free space in the middle is like a special bonus, kind of a somewhat hard to get. So it's the opposite of a free space. But, geez. But one of those special bonuses is farmer's market. And if you're at the site of the farmer's market and the farmer's market is happening, you get the bonus. And we will have that today. This is a former filling station dating back to the 1950s. And I noticed walking here the Greyhound sign on the corner. So I'm gonna guess this might have been a Greyhound bus station as well back in the day. This might have been the Greyhound stop for folks traveling to Chestertown or continuing through Chestertown to Rock Hall, Maryland, another place where we've played some Main Street bingo. This is Chestertown Volunteer Fire Company Incorporated, Station 6. Another bonus for our bingo card is if we encounter the fire station and they're washing the trucks, but no truck washing happening right now, so we won't get that bonus. And this is not an historic fire station. Obviously, it's a relatively new fire station, so we can't call it a historic fire station. Hi, TJ, nice to see you. Hey, Zombie Queen, nice to see you this morning. This is Chestertown, Maryland, on the Chester River, on Maryland's beautiful eastern shore. So from Washington, D.C. or Baltimore, you head to US Route 50, you cross over the Chesapeake Bay, and you cross over from Kent Island onto the eastern shore proper and head north on Route 301 and follow the signs to Chestertown. It's the same direction to get to Centerville and Rock Hall. And we'll take another look back at that fire station here on the main road. Very busy main road. So let's get off this main road. Visitor Center. There's another spot on our bingo card. Oh, Zombie Queen, same to you. I hope you have a great weekend ahead of you. So this is the Visitor Center for Chestertown, Maryland. We can cross that off our bingo card. And the first few that I did, I walked around actually with the bingo card, but that was getting, like, the rattling of the paper was actually getting on my nerves. So now I think it's fun to go home and complete the bingo card, and then I'll post that in the community section. Look at a little tattered little sign here saying Chestertown Historic District, and on one of the homes we already saw the historic marker for number 62, so we know there are at least 62 homes in the historic district. And the crooked little sign here telling us this is Maryland Route 289. But let's see what we have here. Is this a Civil War trail? Yes, it is a Civil War trail. Welcome to Kent County. So this has some important history around the United States colored troops and the units that were raised here on the eastern shore of Maryland. Eastern shore of Maryland was an absolute critical, and actually the birthplace of the Underground Railroad. It was the birthplace of Harriet Tubman. So we have Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass, both from the eastern shore of Maryland. And there are so many sites up and down the eastern shore that show the path of the Underground Railroad, the history of the Underground Railroad, and the lives of Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass. So you can see where we are. Please excuse my nails. So we started here today. I live up here. Up here I live, up here. And crossed over and through Queenstown, up Route 301, and here to Chestertown. But we have been on Main Street walks in Easton, Maryland, Oxford, Maryland. That was a great one. We've been to Cambridge. My other potential site for today was going to be in Princess Anne, I think, which is down here. We've been to Denton. Where's Centerville? Okay, Centerville's like here. So we've covered quite a bit of Maryland's Eastern Shore because there's a lot of history and a lot of great things to see here on the Eastern Shore. Oh, really kind of you, Zombie Queen. Thank you for the reminder to everyone. I do appreciate that. Now, when I drove down the street to park, I saw this statue to a baseball player. I don't know who this is, so we'll find out. Local community organization here collecting eyeglasses. Oh my gosh, if I'd only known. I have like six pairs at home. There's a Sea Glass Fest in St. Michael's this weekend. JC, thank you so much for posting that. I have a cousin who goes to that every year. She's huge in Sea Glass. Okay, so this says William Buck Nicholson, aka Swish, played for the Philadelphia AL, the Phillies, Chicago National League, that would be the Cubs, Philadelphia NL, no idea. Born in Chestertown, Kent County, graduate of Washington College, feared and respected outfielder with a fine arm. Well, all right, William Beck Nicholson, aka Swish. Did not know that. That's good to know. Good morning, Fox. At what age did I decide to act like an old lady? I was born an old lady. Notification. I was born an old lady. So we just saw the marker with the Civil War history and the Underground Railroad history. And I had mentioned when we were crossing over that really loud bridge that I wondered if there were War of 1812 or Revolutionary history here. So it sounds like there sure is. Nearby places to explore in the War of 1812. Eastern Neck Island, Cox Field. So now you can see some of the history around the War of 1812. There's just so much history. So if being an old lady means I'm interested in history, well, I grew up right across the water from that place right there, Fort McHenry in Baltimore. And so every morning I woke up, looked out the window, and I saw that flag. And one day my granddad started asking me, is it still there? I didn't understand. Like, I was like, yeah, Pop, it's still there. And then he said it again, is it still there? Like, yeah, Pop, it's still there. And then later when I learned our national anthem, you know, I realized what he was saying, that our flag was still there. And every day I was checking on it. I would still check on it. And then the important role that this part of Maryland, including Baltimore and all of the shipbuilding towns on the Chesapeake Bay and its tributaries like the Patapsco River, would play in building the fleet, building the frigates. I love that word. The frigates and the skipjacks and the clipper ships that would defend our country, starting with the Revolution, later in the War of 1812, and then in Baltimore, transforming that shipbuilding industry with the arrival of Bethlehem Steel, and then building ships for World War I and World War II. So we passed the visitor center. This is the town hall, reminding us that Chestertown was founded in 1706. So if you've got your bingo card, we're making great progress today. Hey, JC, the massage therapist. Good morning. I'm very disappointed we don't have our blue sky today. We did when I left home. We definitely did when I left. Okay, I now am intrigued. There's a Canadian flag here. It's been a little twisted by the wind. But we've got the beautiful Maryland flag, our amazing American flag, the flag of Chestertown, and a flag of Canada. Why? I do not know. William, yeah, your point about Harriet Tubman, it's really sad. Although not the same con man, it was the same situation that the amazing Ulysses S. Grant found himself in. You know, the general that led our nation back to unity, who did so much for our country, who also, you know, who grew up, you know, a poor farmer, worked his way up in the military, ran the supply chain, and ended up being, you know, the commander general, ended up losing everything to a con man. And on his deathbed, literally on his deathbed, hurriedly scribbled his biography. And that biography, for me, is one of the best written biographies, autobiographies, that I've ever read. And I love biographies. And so for a man who wasn't really credited with being particularly intellectual, for a man who wasn't, who was swindled, a man who was accused of corruption, but not, he was swindled, to pen such an amazing autobiography was fantastic. But yeah, Harriet Tubman also. So many people, swindlers, took advantage of the state after the Civil War. And we can draw a lot of parallels today. Again, this is not a political channel, this is a history channel, but we can draw a lot of parallels today with absolute hucksters and the victim culture. That's exactly what was happening back then, and we haven't erased it since. So, and as long as people are trying to make a buck off of, you know, true hardship, then we're never going to progress. So we've got a flag retirement box here, and it looks like it's stuffed. Where I live, the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts will collect flags that are a little tattered so that they can be disposed of properly retiring the flag. So let's see, who is George Vickers? George Vickers was born in Chestertown. He opposed secession, good for him, in 1861, assisted Governor Hicks to raise an Eastern Shore regiment, and attained the rank of Major General of Militia in the trial of President Johnson. Senator Vickers voted for acquittal. Oh, he voted for acquittal. Okay. Interesting. Maryland Civil War Centennial Commission. These are our Maryland sanctioned historic markers all look like this. So if you're driving through Maryland and you see something of this shape, my eye automatically goes to this. Those Civil War markers are usually plaques, like the one we saw in front of the visitor center. But these are our Maryland historic markers. I think the Maryland Highway Commission runs those. Hey, Rhonda, great to see you. Peter, this is, I keep doing it wrong. This is Kent County, Maryland. I keep wanting to say Queen Anne's. That is true, Fox, and that is true. That is absolutely true. But with the perspective of history and, you know, understanding that, I like to reflect backward on that, whereas politics today is just a mess and very disingenuous and tends to want to discard history, which I am here to preserve. Speaking of the county of Kent, this is the courthouse. This is the Kent. Let's see if we can get a better view. I always like to get the medallion. Maryland courthouses almost all follow this neoclassical structure. This is the George B. Raisin Jr. courthouse. Okay. So this might be the district court. We would have a district court and a circuit court here. District court for lower offenses, circuit court for higher offenses. The county of Kent in the province of Maryland, which is what we were in 1706 when this town was established. We were a province. And there are more references to the province of Maryland than the colony of Maryland. And those original families who settled Maryland on the two ships that came here initially, those were the Ark and the Dove. And they landed at St. Mary's City, although there were some other settlements on Kent Island, which is Queen Anne's County. It just gets messy. But let's say for the official version is the Ark and the Dove landed, settled St. Mary's County, Maryland, the province of Maryland, named after Queen Henrietta Maria, wife of Charles the something, Charles the Second. Sometimes I get that wrong. And then different parts of Maryland named after royalty in Britain, like Queen Anne, Prince George. So we're at the back of the town square. I'll take a picture of the big fountain from the other side, because maybe we will get a tiny bit of sunlight. Maybe we'll get a tiny bit of sunlight. And the farmer's market is kicking off. We're gonna do the farmer's market last because there is music blasting. And let's see how long we can go without getting a copyright situation. Oh, I like this little one on the corner here. Everything in Chestertown, Maryland is within walking distance. It is a good little walking town. Back to that neoclassical architecture. The post office. This is a great post office building. Check that out. That's a really good one. I'll be heading over there to see if I can get a cancellation. I bring postcards with me and I ask to get them hand canceled from all the places I visit. I would say 80% of the post offices will do that, and about 20% will not. And they say, oh, we have to process. See most post offices in the United States just take your mail and send it to a central processing location, and the postmark is not the place where you mailed it. So for example, most of Central Maryland gets sent to Baltimore. So you could mail something in the, I don't know, pick your place in Maryland, and the postmarks are all going to be Baltimore. So when I travel, I ask for a hand cancellation, and about 80% of them will do it. But 20% of them, I don't know, they're leaning into the machine world. I was really disappointed in Georgetown in Washington, D.C., when they just flat out said, nope, we send them out. And I was like, seriously? Then why are you here? Like, don't you want to save your own jobs? You're letting the machines take over. Come on, sunshine, make an effort here. I appreciate that, Fox. Exactly. Everyone is welcome here, but let's keep the chat on history, flowers, springtime, whatever you'd like to talk about. Just not that. It's the only rule for my channel. No politics, I think. I think that's the only rule. I don't know. I haven't looked at my rules in a while. Maybe I need to look at my rules. Hey, for my members, I updated some emojis. So if there are any members in the chat, you can test out my new emojis. I have my Hey Hun Baltimore emoji, and I have my stack of books, and something else. Can't remember. All right. Oh, William, thank you. The Canadian flag and the Maryland flag is a companion city to Chester, Nova Scotia. Awesome. So it's a sister city. So Chestertown, Maryland is a sister city to Chester, Nova Scotia. That is awesome. Oh, the Liberty Bell. Thank you, Fox. Hey, that works. That works. So these tulips are on their last, definitely on their last legs. But we've had so many opportunities to see tulips over the last few weeks in all of my wanderings. It feels like they've gone too soon. But that means that roses are not too far behind. So I'm going to walk up here. I think the library is up here. And I've come here to do some historic research. Let me be really super geeky for a moment. Chestertown is the county seat of Kent County. And the Chestertown Library does have information for researchers, genealogists, family historians. I found some great maps that I didn't know existed at this library. And I needed to come back and do some more research. Oh, I know I keep saying I need to come back to here and there and I do. I need to come back to a lot of places. Now, this is the part where we start to zigzag. I'm going to stay on this side of the street and then I'll come back down the other side. There's a wonderful church here, but we'll want to get the view from the other side of the street. Oh, I know. I wish I could, Fox. That is beautiful. This is Christ First United Methodist Church. And I'll read the sign to see when it was founded when we get up here. And then we'll definitely get a proper look at this beautiful structure from across the street. I think this says 1780. It does. So Christ First United Methodist Church was here in 1780. You know, it has that old North Church look to it. Although it's Methodist and not C of E. Hey, Oliver, nice to see you again. No, we can't understand Chinese. You're a Baptist. I was raised Catholic, but I respect them all. And I especially respect all the architecture that comes with beautiful old churches. Now this is the Kent County Government Center, and it's named for R. Clayton Mitchell Jr. The Mitchell family in Baltimore is just, and oh, look at that building. The Mitchell family in Baltimore and around Maryland are legendary, even to today. Amazing public servants who dedicated their lives to the people and to the places that they represented, and not for their own benefit, as far as I know. I know there's always been great respect for the Mitchell family that goes way, way back. So this is the old Chestertown Public School, and it is now the Government Center. Oh my gosh, I love this building. How interesting. It's not, it's like, what style would we, I'm a little tongue-tied, as you can tell. Okay, is this a mishmash of different styles? Right, we've got some colonial roots here, a slight hint of Georgian, a roof that leans Queen Anne, a cupola that is like slightly misplaced, but it works. Normally I would be really confused about this. I am really confused about this style, but I think this works. Has an agricultural feel to it. Hello, hi, Holocron. Yeah, I know that, yeah, we know that China has more than, we do. We do. But don't spam, okay? Don't spam the China chat. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I keep saying this. I'll do more research. I will do more research. But then, how strikingly different across the street, Christ First United Methodist Church. Holy moly. So that was, how is this the same? Okay. Christ First United Methodist Church. Christ First United. Okay, it's the same name. Christ Church United Methodist Church. I'm slightly confused that two churches are maybe the same church. Christ First United Methodist. Christ First United Methodist. This little corner here is like the Twilight Zone. Same exact church name. Two very distinctively different architectural styles. Oh my gosh, blue skies are coming. Blue skies are coming. Panoramic maps for genealogy on website American Memory. Oh my gosh, the mapping resources that are available now for genealogists are amazing. My favorite place to start is the British Library, no matter where you come from, because their mapping resources cover the entire world. And they have map overlays that have a timeline added to the maps. So you can slide the timeline and watch the maps evolve. And those are fantastic. So go to the British Library website for that. And check out that little 1800s on the corner there. That's a good one. All right, we will continue down this street because I don't want to get myself all confounded over the architecture of that building or of the two churches. I almost think I want to knock on the door and ask the vicar. I won't do that. Check out this one, wooden clapboard, 1800s, but in a beautiful, more contemporary green with red trim. And we've seen this over and over again, this green, this olive green with a terracotta type red trim in Washington, D.C. and in Philadelphia and here on this plot. And you can see there's a garden shed that is new construction behind this home that has solar panels on the roof, which is pretty cool, in the color that matches this home. Now this one, oh my gosh. Wow. We've got that yellow with the terracotta red with the dark olive green on this one. That is just pretty cool. And hi, we do know what's going on in China, but I'm gonna put you in timeout just for a short bit because I've asked you not to spam. Wow, and we'll cross over and get a better look. We'll do some zigzagging here. I wanna do this whole side. The sun is really trying. It's really trying. Check that out. We'll get a little close up here, but we'll get a better view from across the street. Wow, 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 wow. So we're just a few steps off the main street. It's gotten a little quieter, or I'm sorry, off the town square. It's gotten a little quieter. If the bells still existed, the spire tech would be Tartarian. Tartarian, I don't know what that is, but maybe there are still bells. This is the library I was mentioning, the Kent County Public Library. A wonderful resource for research if you have ancestors on Maryland's Eastern Shore. My ancestors who were in Rock Hall, which is not too far from here, and because this is the county seat, this is where I came for the records that I needed, also to the courthouses here. And luckily, I mean, just in the last few years, so many resources are now available online. Although I always recommend getting out there in the field, right? Don't just rely on online, because it's not all online. But we are lucky that more information is available. Check that one out. That one's got to go back to the 1700s. Oh, Fox, I do appreciate it. Yeah, I do that when I'm modding for As. If I start to see, you know, foreign, and it's not that we don't want individuals of other languages in the chat. It's just that we don't know what they're saying. Check that out. I want this one. All right, this is the one I want. Look at the beautiful garden in what's a very small sidewalk, by the way. You know, little front patch here But look what they've done with that over there. Just beautiful. Here's a beautiful little cottage. This is definitely robin's egg blue. Okay, I don't know what I'm smelling, but whatever flower or tree, I need to learn the ones that smell really good. Something smells really good. And then this brick right next door, this is definitely 1800s. This stretch here with the front porches. But again, we'll get a better view from across the way. But check these out. Now on the corner here, we always seem to find, in these little small towns, we always seem to find a stretch of homes just off the main street, but then a building that definitely looked like the corner shop or some kind of commercial building. And that's definitely this one. This looks like a little commercial building. Could have been the lawyer, could have been the insurance man. Hi, Raymond. Great to see you. Hi, Van Veekeren. Nice to see you. The earworm. Do they get much snow in the winter? Oh my gosh, the earworm. This year we did. This year we had 3 or 4 late season storms, like late February. And it was like over and over again. And I think they got a little more here than we did in the kind of Baltimore and Central Maryland area. Oh, I love this street. And but then we had a stretch of 11 days where we didn't get above freezing. So the snow in normal seasons would have been gone quite quickly, but this year it just stayed and stayed, and it became what we started calling snowcrete, like concrete, because you couldn't move it. It froze a little bit and then or melted a little bit, and then we had a hard freeze. It was crazy. So yeah, snow this year was bonkers. Okay, sun. The sun is trying. And a wooden one here. The sun is really trying. Now this more modern church is Sacred Heart Parish, so I'm going to guess this is the RC. Although it doesn't say. St. John at Rock Hall. So they've been combined. So I'm going to really guess this definitely has to be Catholic, because a lot of Catholic parishes have combined. So services here Saturday at 4, Sunday at 10. Service at St. John in Rock Hall Sunday at 8. Got to cover all your bases. What haven't we seen yet? We haven't had our C of E, which we would call Episcopal. Now there's a historic Episcopal church here, Church of England Church, Anglican, which is St. Paul's, near kind of between here and Rock Hall. And that's where you go for all of your like colonial church records here. They predate the Revolution, and George Washington attended services there. And I have ancestors who worshiped at that point in time, so there's always a chance that one of my ancestors saw George Washington. George Washington traveled up and down the eastern shore of Maryland because it was safer than taking the interior between like Washington, Baltimore, and Philly. George Washington traveled on the eastern shore. I'm going to guess this is the original church. And then we have more wooden structures down this street. I'm going to go just a little farther and then cross over so we can get a better view of this side of the street. But check out the opposite side here. The sun, it's trying. It's so close. It's really, really close to coming out. So we might be able to salvage a little bit of today with some sun. Someone's listening to opera. Sounds lovely. Check out these front patches though. You've got the sidewalk And then a pretty wide patch of garden in front. It is, it's trying. It's these, the clouds are really low. I drove through fog, which is why I thought it would burn off kind of quickly. It didn't. Sad because it's bright and sunny home, and home is an hour from here. Check that one out. Lots of effort there for some whimsy. What a great row. I mean, can you imagine this neighborhood in the 1800s? Without cars going up and down this road, but carriages and carts with all the farm goods and the seafood being traded all the way down to where the ferries were taking the goods across the Chesapeake Bay, or all the way up north. If you were here, you might as well go all the way up north so you don't have to cross the bay, and you would go up and over at the kind of narrow Susquehanna River, either to get to Baltimore or to keep going north to Philadelphia and New York. All right, we'll cross over here because we're going to get to a really nice reproduction, although this one is great. Oh my gosh, look at those colors. Oh, wow. Hey, Daniel, nice to see you. Oh, so earworm, it's still too early for you. Well, I hope things warm up there quickly. The fragrance is summer sweet. It's intense in that area. Oh, it is. Okay, I'm going to look that up. So this is the Chestertown Police Department building. It's a new construction, relatively, when I say new. You know, it's not 1800s. But it's certainly made to blend in with the local architecture. So here we're taking, you know, what needs to be a big building, right? It's the police department building. But it's made to blend into the local architecture. Love that. But then here, this little corner set of 3 row homes really stands out. Now, we saw these brick row home type buildings in Easton, Maryland, and I'm going to say in Denton, maybe Denton. But I haven't seen this type over here in this part of like Kent County, like where Rock Hall is. I'm not sure about Centerville, but this is interesting because these really stand out. This could be late 1800s. This could even be early 1900s, although from the state of the brick, I'm going to guess late 1800s on these. All right, I'm going to find the best place to cross over, which is probably this way. Just give a nod to all the gardens here. Oh, the iris is here or haven't bloomed yet. Roby was showing in the community tab of my channel, anyone can post photos as long as it's historic buildings or nature. No people pictures. But you are welcome to post photos on my channel in the community tab. And Roby has posted his irises as well as a whole bunch of other great photos around his property. So check those out. Hey, Trails with Tim. You're in Maryland. What are you doing in Maryland, Tim? Where are you? That's really nice of you, Tim. I'll have to check out your channel. I'm guessing you have a channel. Stephen McGowan. How is it in the UK today? Okay, I'm really not happy. I thought the sun was coming. It just won't pop through those clouds. The sun is teasing us today. Because with these bright colors and these beautiful buildings, we need some sun. I hope the stream looks okay. This is probably going to be one of those streams that doesn't look HD because it's all about the lighting. Bummer. All right, let's get a better look at the street the sidewalk we just walked down. This is the High Street. But we can also get a close-up look at these. I find such beauty in the simple row homes. I do. And I don't know if those are historic lanterns or reproductions, but how quite simple and beautiful is that? Where am I streaming from? Oh, heavens, I haven't said it in a while. This is Chestertown, Maryland, on the eastern shore of Maryland, in the mid-Atlantic of the United States of America. Chestertown was founded in 1706. I know for you folks in Europe, that's not a long time ago, but for us it is. Founded in 1706 and is the county seat of Kent County, Maryland. Hey, Mathis. Mathis, nice to see you again. Thank you for joining. So the road we just came down, there is one stone house. And I don't know, it doesn't quite fit. Could it be a 1700s? I don't know. Look at that, dogwood, beautiful. So that stone building right there, normally when we encounter stone structures, amid 17 and 1800s architecture, we usually say, oh, that's probably the oldest one. I'm not sure about that one, so I'll have to look it up. The stone house in Washington, D.C. is the oldest house still standing in Washington, D.C. Good morning. Good morning. Here's a close-up view on the beautiful colors on this one. Hey, Tim, great. And other Tim is here. Hey, Tim. Fox, thank you for posting that channel. Tim, we'll take a look at Trails with Tim. I've met so many great creators lately. So Wild West Nomad, who frequents our channel, she wanders around Denver, as does Johnny Bravo on our channel. And now we have Trails with Tim. And later this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I will be on Stasis Geek's channel for Film Club. Everyone is invited to Film Club. Our film today, however, it was not my pick. It's The City of Lost Children, and that's a freaky movie. But if you like good chat, join me, James from Stasis Geek, Jay from Nerd Takes, for Film Club this afternoon. Now these are definitely going to be early 1800s. So you can see on the structure on the left that's painted beige, you can see a tin roof on that structure. It's a newer tin roof. And on the building straight ahead, you can see a shingle roof, newer shingles. And on this wooden clapboard structure, the tin roof as well. So we'll see new tin roofs, but they've kept the historic construction. They just have new tin. Oh, Fox, thank you so much. I tend to try to post the links ahead of this stream, and then I forget. So I do appreciate it. Thank you. Bad YouTuber. All right, so there's that, what looks like an original Sacred Heart. There is a bell. The bell is still there. So in a previous stream, we were having a great conversation as to why there may not be bells in churches. Mostly because the wooden structure that holds them up could rot over time and a great big huge bell could fall down, which we don't want. There are also situations where the metal is used for other purposes. And so churches that were being rebuilt or decommissioned, I guess is the word, desanctified, may have their bells melted down and used for other purposes. Recycled. We are a friendly crew, Trails with Tim. And we're all, you know, there are several streamers in our group, and we're all super friendly. Good morning. How y'all doing?
How are you?
Good. I'm not out here running, but we're doing good.
Not today.
These beautiful trees with these carpets of blossoms. Yeah, we're a kind of an, I'd say, a network, but there's a lot of folks. We visit each other's channels because we're just good people. I hate to put it that, like, we don't get into drama. We like nice things. So James and Jay and I, we talk about film. We have an intelligent conversation about film. It's not stuffy, just an intelligent conversation about film. We do like our gaming, but you know, I kind of gravitate toward channels that kind of lift up a little bit, and we share our passions. And my passion is history, and in recent years, history through architecture. I did not study architecture. I am not an architect, and I often don't know the terms. But as I've studied history, particularly in and around Baltimore and Washington, D.C., I've just found myself gravitating toward the beauty that is the art of architecture, just like this. Just these kinds of details absolutely fascinate me. So within the stonework on this building are these molded, I'm gonna guess. I can't imagine them being carved all identically, but some kind of molded concrete something or other that just adds this beautiful flair to a relatively simple building, probably a commercial building here on the High Street in Chestertown, Maryland. Hey, Sunny Smith, I've turned the camera twice. Not today. I turned the camera the day I hit 500 subscribers, and I might have done it around the time I hit 1,000. Oh, I did it just 2 weeks ago when we were having a disaster stream. We had no audio on a stream, and finally when we got audio, I just waved at the I waved. Not today. Today's a dirty, messy day. Check out this beautiful, beautiful garden. Oh my gosh, with the Easter eggs and the stonework. If this is your garden, it is magnificent. Not yours? Well, it is lovely. Wow. But this is kind of unique, again, to have these, you know, homes in a small town. It's not rural. Brick sidewalk, but a pretty wide front yard here. Available for beautiful gardens. Thank you, Sunny. There is so much history in Maryland, Tim, and you can just, you know, I grew up in downtown Baltimore, and you could just walk out of your house, and I already told the story, my bedroom overlooked Fort McHenry, for goodness sakes. And then I work in and around Washington, D.C., so I travel to London every once in a while. It's like that. You don't need a plan. You just start walking, and you're going to stumble upon history, which is pretty cool. Oh, Fox, thank you so much. That dog is lovely. Look how I know. I try not to get diverted. Like, okay, I'm here for history and architecture. I'll get diverted by flowers. I try not to get diverted by animals, because if I did, then we would never talk about history. With the pineapple knocker on the door, the pineapple, the symbol of hospitality. For those who didn't know that, I'm sure you all knew that. But if you come across a home that's not necessarily an inn or a tavern, and you see the pineapple, you know that they're hospitable. And I like that. I like that. Now this one is rather beautifully rustic, I'll call it. Look at these urns. So I've looked into urns. I have, like good ones. And oh my gosh. I mean, they're like thousands of dollars for the good ones, for the good metal ones. I just need to design my dream home. I live, unfortunately, in the most unhistoric home ever. It's just a regular old cookie cutter, single family home. Nothing interesting about it. But I'm gonna try to put a few historic touches in it. It's not, there's no historic element to it whatsoever. Now here's that one we saw, that beautiful olivey green one that we saw from across the street. London is just fantastic. Films in DC, love researching locations and hidden locations in DC. There's so much to see in Washington. We haven't even scratched the surface. I think I've made over 100 videos just in Washington, DC. We haven't even scratched the surface. I'll be going up and down those streets for the rest of my life. And hopefully you all will be coming with me. This is just such great architecture, and I really, really need to understand why both of these churches are called Christ First United Methodist. My gut tells me that this one is older, right? It has that old North Church feel. And my gut is telling me that may have been C of E before. That's just a gut feel. And then this one, you can see so many different additions. The brick in the back part of the church is a completely different brick than the front part of the church. It's got a little Gothic feel. There's just intricate carving in and around the brick that's not characteristic of a church. There's like a what do you call those faces? It's not a grotesque, maybe? I don't know, but wow. Oh, hello, Japan. Nice to see you. And there's that beautiful yellow one that we passed. This is definitely a Queen Anne. I think it's the first one I've seen with the widow's walk on the roof and that wrought iron work. So those who've seen my channel, you know I'm a sucker for wrought iron. I love a good piece of wrought iron. Railings, steps. It is morning here. It is 9:01. We did not hear one bell ring. It's 9:01. And for all these churches, we did not hear one bell, sadly. And we are in Chestertown, Maryland, a beautiful small town Main Street community on Maryland's eastern shore. And we are now heading toward the hustle bustle of the town square. Oh, and we do have a date on this one, 1887. So 1887 here, and I'm guessing the one across the street is the 1700s version. Maybe the congregation outgrew this church, although it's a huge church. But let's just take one more look back at this government building that was originally the Chestertown Public School. We are definitely doing some research on this one. I like this so much, but the architectural style is so confusing to me. Sandy Reed's Meltdown. Uh-oh, what did I do? Oh, Meltdown. Okay. Love that. Perhaps the residents are wealthy. So let's talk about that. Back in the day, this would have been a mix of merchants and sailors and shipbuilders and people who made cloth and rope for the shipbuilding industry, and farmers and oystermen and fishermen. So it would have been a combination. Today to live here, yeah, you got to be wealthy to live here. in one of these homes. Now, some of them might be apartments, but to own one of these beautiful properties, but how wonderful would that be? To live on one of these streets. I mean, just, you know, the flags. Oh, I'm definitely going down this street. Nice to meet you. Brothels? No. Oh, that's awesome. Ange time? I like hearing the bells too. I'm surprised. For all the churches, we passed 1, 2, 3, 4 churches. No bells. No bells, but we are getting a tiny bit of sun. Just a tiny bit of sun. I'm just gonna peek down here because all of a sudden I'm losing my signal. Don't know if it's just because I'm off the main street here. I'm going to venture to guess these are some of the oldest homes in this area. Hi, Knuckles. Do I know Val? I don't know. I don't know if I do. I'm guessing these are some of the oldest homes. Because look, that's definitely a home that might have been like a little tavern or an inn. And then it had built on and built on. Check these out. All right, I really want to get this one, but I'm totally losing the signal right now, so I am going to turn around. Dwell on that one for a minute. Ooh, check that one out. Check that one out. Come on, sunshine. If you're playing Main Street Bingo with us, here is another historic home marker. So the Chestertown Historic District, this is number 26. Chestertown is on the National Register of Historic Places. And the bridge that I started our walk on itself is part of the National Register of Historic Places. I guess it's an historic bridge. So what else have we found so far? We have the town hall. We have the visitor center. Historic church, 100%. Historic post office. And I said we had a bonus for something. Oh, farmer's market, and the farmer's market is happening today, which we'll see in just a second. The firehouse, they were not washing the trucks, so we don't get the bonus for that. And there are some things we haven't found yet, but I think we're doing quite well. Quite well. Thanks to that car for not honking as I was walking down the middle of the street. Let's get a better view of this beautiful church, also called Christ First United Methodist Church. Look at that beautiful church. Absolutely beautiful. And now we are heading down to the town square. Now, we do have a space on our bingo card for the town banners. But you know what? I think I'm going to change that to the town banners that honor military service. We'll count it for today. And you'll see this one for Washington College. Washington College, I think, is the oldest college in Maryland, or one of the oldest colleges in Maryland. And it's here in Chestertown. I know that is a pretty dog. This is the one we passed earlier. That's a very pretty dog. You have such a pretty dog. So my folks who are watching, I'm not filming you, but my folks who are watching said, "Oh, that's a pretty dog." It is such a pretty dog. Yep. Beautiful. So here, what were residential homes are now the shops on the town square. This is a great town square. And as you can see, you can walk to everything here in Chestertown. You can walk to everything. It's an easy walk. It's all flat. There is a ghost sign up there, but it looks like it's been overpainted. So I think there was a different sign, and then it's overpainted with the Charles C. Schrerer wholesaler there. Ooh, Watershed. That looks like a very nice restaurant there. Nice flower boxes. Jerry Moe's Timeless Apparel for Men. Lovely. Here's the pet shop. We knew it was going to be here. There's always a pet shop in a small town. Fisher's Popcorn sold here. Fisher's Popcorn is Ocean City, Maryland, on the boardwalk. You get your popcorn with your caramel or your chocolate drizzled on it. It's really good. Looks like the town from the movie Signs. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. There's an old gas pump in the window here at Bad Alfred's Brew Pub and Distillery. Bad Alfred's.
I try not to give her much table scrap, just a little to enhance the I try. We even
Look all the flags here. Walnut and Wool. Little shop here. Check out the cast iron or wrought iron. Cast iron, I think. Little table set. Hey, smart boy, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Joey. This is Chestertown, Maryland. Sugar Doodles Sweet Shop. Ange Time is in Norwich, Connecticut. Oh, there is so much. I went to Mystic when my kids were little. My parents, my husband, my whole family, we went to Mystic. It's kind of like the Williamsburg of New England, right? And it's kind of the same. It's so preserved. They have folks, reenacting. They have reenactors. Mystic was great. Okay, I'm stuck on the Sugar Doodles. Look at those ice cream sandwiches. Look, hello. Wow. Okay, we may come back to Sugar Doodles. I keep saying the sun is trying to come out. It's not going to make it. It's just not going to make it. I feel bad because I know this stream is probably not looking good. So thank you all for staying with me. And we have some artwork here on the town square. I think that's a bingo. I think the town square is a bingo space. I think we'll have a bingo today. Check that out. It says Puzzled. And the artist's name is Taylor Inber. I'm sorry, I'm doing my best to read that. This was made in 2004. Oh, thanks, Fox. I mean, that combined with no sunlight, I'm going to be really disappointed when I look back at this stream. Sometimes they look good, and sometimes once they upload, they look terrible. Terrible. Now, what haven't we seen? We haven't seen my favorite, A Bank is a Bank, yet. Mimi's shop. I think I'm going shopping. Salon and Spa. The Bordley History Center, the Historical Society of Kent County. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, this is a place I will return here. I will return here to check out the Historical Society of Kent County. Nice. Could this be, since I just mentioned a bank is a bank? Let's head down this street first. The mysterious Captain Lambert Wicks. Yeah, we got pirates. We got pirates. So this is where we are. So we've got the town map. I don't think that's a bingo item. We have not seen a mural yet. So we need to find a mural. We need to find, I'm guessing we'll find something that looked like the historic department store or hardware store. We have not seen the funeral home yet. So we have quite a few more things to find. So even off of this main town square are still more streets with shops and restaurants. All right, this has to be the old fire station. Okay, I'm gonna cross over this, right? Right, it has the big bay in the front. It has that characteristic arch. It's narrow. This has to be the old fire station. Let's see what the sign says. It's just gonna give me a number. It's number 23, and I'm guessing it's gonna say fire station. Empty Hangers Consignment Boutique. Nice. Nice, nice. Bookshop, I'll be back here. I'll be back here. So we missed the block party, but the indie bookstore day, no, nice to see you. The indie bookstore day is on the 25th, next Saturday. That's awesome. Kids Boutique, but across the way.
Indie bookstore day.
I'm sorry, say that again? Indie bookstore day?
No, we got something going on.
Oh, today?
Here.
Awesome. I'll come back. Thank you. All right, I said I thought that was the fire department, but now I'm gonna correct myself because this building clearly was the volunteer fire department. 1908 to 1909 it was constructed, and this looks like when I did the walk in either Westminster or Sykesville, Westminster, Maryland, where the fire department was not red brick, it was this color brick and this shape with the watchtower on the top. Looks like the same construction. So you can see two bays in the front. Now, maybe we'll find out that the one that I just passed was also a fire station, and maybe it just outgrew itself. So I'm holding out hope, because that definitely looks like a fire station. I like this though. Enjoy your day, Roby. Enjoy your day. And for everyone, I'm so sorry if I'm not getting your chats. I'm trying to be mindful of how long I've streamed already. It's been quite a while. And I want to make sure we see as much as we can. Hi, Mark. This is Chestertown, Maryland, on the eastern shore of Maryland. It's the county seat of Kent County. And we're just having a great old time around this probably relatively unknown part of Maryland. Check out that one. Wooden clapboards on this one. And the fire station, and then the one next to it, that could be our historic hardware store. I'm counting that as the historic hardware store. The dark brick one right next to the fire station. Hi, no, please go ahead. People belong in videos. Have a good day. People are so kind. They don't want to get in the video. They probably don't realize I'm filming a long time, not just taking one picture. But what we've found here, so we've gotten quite a few squares on our Main Street bingo card. But what we found here is many more streets full of beautiful old architecture dating back to the 1700s in this beautiful town. Now I'm trying to cross this street. It's not very easy. May I? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll just take a very quick peek down this street. There's a Smith. And just a cute little row of small homes. These could be early 1800s here. These beautiful homes with the wooden clapboards. I like the color scheme too on these homes. But let's get back up to the Eastern Shore food. Oh, it's a food lab. Okay, I swear I thought it was a Smith because I saw the axe and the knife, but it's the Eastern Shore Food Lab. Okay. Still haven't found that historic bank yet, but maybe we will soon. Oh, and there's a symbol there for the National Park Service, so that must be some historic building there. Not sure what it is, didn't read it, but I wanted to get a better view of this church. Another church on our list. Didn't see a name of the church. And this too would be a really good candidate for historic department store or hardware store. So we can definitely cross that one off the list. And when I say that, I mean like, you know, a relatively large structure on a main street, big windows, big entranceway, usually 2 or 3 stories. And here's a close-up at that historic fire station. Clearly 2 bays, but the obvious sign carved into the top, Volunteer Fire Company, 1908 to 1909. But I want to come back over here because the one that I originally said, this has to be the fire station. Maybe this one dates back to the 1800s. I don't know. I could be stretching. But this 2-story or 3-story here, this narrow building with the whale sign hanging over it, has a look of a fire station. It has a look of 1 bay, the arched window on the 2nd floor, the flat roof. All that says to me is a 1-engine fire station, but I could be very wrong. This is a cute little commercial street here just off the square. Hi, Renee. Nice to see you. Daryl, good morning, Daryl. Yeah, cones, Daryl. Got some cones. Daryl, I can't get the sun. The sun just is not cooperating today. And I hate saying all the time, well, I'll have to put this on the list of places to come back to. I'll have to put this on the list of places to come back to. Because I want to get a video with good, bright, brilliant color to capture all the colors of these residential and commercial buildings. So much history dating back to 1706 here in Chestertown, Maryland. Now I'm hoping this building here that I'm walking past is going to be our bank as a bank. Because it is a bank today. So as long as it was a bank back in the day, we can cross that off our bingo card. And we'll have to go across the street to get a better view. Chesapeake Bank and Trust Company. Today, oh yeah, we've got the historic deposit box, the night deposit. This is our historic bank and it's still a bank. Why do I love banks that are still banks? For that very reason. It is so rare that you find an historic property that is still used for the same purpose 150, 200 years later. Banks and pubs and taverns tend to retain their historic purpose because of the uniqueness of the architecture. Banks look like banks. right? Some banks, the ones that I typically like in small towns, are a little smaller than this. This is huge. Are of light-colored stone, granite, marble, have the brass door, the pillars, the really unique lighting fixtures. This doesn't fit that mold, which might be more of a city mold. This is huge. But this is a bank that is still a bank. And yeah, we are going to take a good walk down through this farmer's market. Once we come off this street here. And that is a bonus on our bingo card. We have to have a bingo today. We absolutely have to have a bingo today. Ukulele. Careful, talk over Daryl Hall, please. I gotta imagine Hall & Oates would be claiming my video. Everybody's out with their dogs. Oh, look at this. This is the White Swan Tavern. But these flower boxes are beautiful. Now, the glass in those windows is very wavy. Probably not original, but reproductions are made with the wavy glass to look original. It says that this building was, I guess, completed, operating 1730. The White Swan Tavern goes back to 1730. I'm gonna have to walk faster. I've been streaming for a long time, and we've got a lot more to see here in Chestertown, Maryland. Thank you, Renee. Now, our friend Ben always reminds me to find the ice cream shop, and we have found the ice cream shop. But first, let's take a look at this one. Stam's Hall. Don't know what that means. Stam's Hall, 1886. Maybe that was a government building of some sort. It is now an insurance company and a real estate company. That's a good late 1800s construction. There's a clock there. Do we count that as the town clock? I don't think we do, but the time is correct. So we'll think on that. I don't think we count that as the town clock. Ice cream. All right, this is Stam's ice cream. I gotta find out who Stam was. S-T-A-M. Luncheonette. And ice cream fountain. Soda fountain. Theater, historic theater. We can check that one off. I wasn't even thinking about that. So SpongeBob the musical is playing at the Garfield Center. Oh, that's so funny. But look at the historic, look at the architectural style there. Completely different. It's got that actually Eastern Oriental feel to the roof line. It reminds me of the Morris Clark House in Washington, D.C. Oh, we've got another bank. We have another bank, which is not currently a bank. So I'm glad we found the one that is still a bank. This might have been the original Chestertown Bank. Got those big old wooden doors. This is that more traditional bank architecture that I was referring to. But it is not a bank. It's an event venue. That would be nice. That would be nice. All right, I have to walk faster. We've still got a lot more to see here. And I want to make sure we see it all. So I'm going to get to this corner, get a peek across the street at the beautiful brick home on that corner there. It's a federal archetype, an architecture archetype on that corner.
The doors of bureaucracy continue to turn.
And more side streets. This is probably one of the most historically dense Main Street communities that I have visited. Wow. I love this one. The alternating color brick between the regular terracotta color and that gray brick. You might not be able to see it. Was that a green cone? Yes, it was, Daryl. I'm sorry. We'll see it when we come back up this street. There are actually a few of them. More of these beautiful gardens. Absolutely beautiful Federal with navy blue shutters. And across the way, some more old brick. Now these sidewalks are getting a little bumpy as we walk toward the water. Just get to the top of the hill here so you can see the Chester River. I started the day crossing the bridge over the Chester River. It was too dangerous to stream from there. Traffic was, although the speed limit was 25 miles an hour, folks were not abiding the speed limit. And the sidewalk was quite narrow. So, whoa, another hole. Look at this. Very deliberately planted, beautiful front garden. Beautiful flags. Let's get a peek at the water. And then we'll come back up. Check out that bay window and the detail there. Chestertown, Maryland, founded in 1706 here on the eastern shore of Maryland. And here's a good old Georgian colonial. Wooden clapboards. Now these beautiful little shrubs are getting the blossoms from the tree falling on them, decorating the shrubs. That is beautiful. And now you'll get a peek at the Chester River. Whoops. All right, gotta be careful on this sidewalk. Beautiful window boxes. I'm just all over the place today. Those are not cherry trees. I don't know what they are, but the cherry trees are done. I don't know if those are the fruitless pear or what they are, but they're not cherry trees. So this one, great, we've got a sign. It says it was the custom house from around 1746. Look at the alternating colors of brick that we're now seeing in some of the buildings here. So when we started out, we were way up that street. More wooden clapboard buildings, but now we're seeing these alternate color brick. And this is number 1 on the historic tour. You can get a really good view of the brick. And then as you look up there, it's more striking, the difference in the color. Love it. Up, historic sign. Chestertown Historic District has been designated a registered National Historic Landmark on the National Register of Historic Places. And we've got some rowers out there. We've got a scary duck. Oh my God, or goose or whatever. They can be really, really scary. Now, if you want to dig into maritime history, I'm sad to say I don't know the name of this ship. Hopefully there'll be a sign. Hopefully I'm totally losing the signal. Okay, so I'm going to back up. There are historic replica ships here on the Chester River. But because I'm losing the signal, we're going to head back up. Important place for shipbuilding, frigates, and skipjacks and clippers. Oh my. And a mansion right on the water. And a little baby canal. A little baby canal heading right to the Chester River. Let's get back up to the town square where we'll have a... Oh, look at all those geese. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near there. Oh, thanks, Daryl. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, please always let me know when you're losing me. Without any sunlight, this is gonna look awful. But I really appreciate you all joining me. I would have still been walking myself. But I did bring my camera, and now, see, I can't do the photos I wanted to take today. It's a newer construction here. But let's look back over the street we just came down. There's that beautiful, like, it's not a periwinkle blue. It's like between a periwinkle and a slate blue on that one with the wooden clapboards. This one almost looks new. So perfectly manicured, and does have some newer touches to it that I don't know how historic this one is. It just looks too new. Sometimes they look too well preserved. But this one, with this bay window, look at the intricate carving around that window. And then the stained glass. And of course, our beautiful Maryland flag. Looks great. It does, Justice. It does. And right here on Maryland's Eastern Shore, we have the birthplace of Harriet Tubman and the birthplace of Frederick Douglass, and the formation of several units under the United States colored troops who fought in the United States Civil War. The Underground Railroad was here on Maryland's Eastern Shore. Check this one out. This little corner here, right on the, right on the cusp of the town square. This would have been like the merchants. Could have been their homes, could have been their offices. Justice, it is. And I've been here before, but I've not walked street by street. I'm just amazed how many of the residences and buildings have been preserved here. Normally it's kind of around the town square, and then you get farther afield and the historic properties tend to really, spread out. They're few and far between. But here it's been one after another on every street. Historic churches, residences. And the residents keep up the property and have built these beautiful gardens. It's so green here. So I am certain we'll have a bingo today on our bingo card. Here we'll get a really good view at this historic fire insurance company. What does it say? Mutual Fire Insurance Company. Building right there. And there's our historic bank, the Chestertown Bank of Maryland. This one is not a bank any longer, so we can't count it as a bank. But the one we saw on the street, just one street down, is still a bank. So we'll count that one. Historic theater with this stained glass. In this really odd architectural style. I'm just gonna say odd. All the different colored brick. And on the roof line were terracotta tiles that just don't kind of fit. And that tells me there was some other kind of influence. So someone from out of town. There's the Morris Clark Hotel and Inn in Washington, D.C. that just stands out kind of like that theater with the same brick and roof kind of choices. And the history behind that home is that the owner had traveled to Japan and brought back some Eastern influence in the design of the roof and the railings. Could be that there could be the same influence there. All right, we're back to Stam's Hall, 1886. I'm right under it, it's hard to see. Sultana and the Pride of Baltimore 2 are some of the ships in. Oh, the Pride 2 is in. So Pride of Baltimore 2 is literally docked about 5 steps from my parents' house in Baltimore. That was not it, because I know it. I know it very well. So that was the Sultana then. Thank you, William. Yeah, I grew up like a block from the Pride and the Pride 2. Sadly, the Pride of Baltimore sunk in a terrible, terrible disaster. But the Pride 2 was built and launched right near my home. And then I'm traveling on a trip to New York, and I was on Liberty Island at the Statue of Liberty. And what floats by? The Pride of Baltimore. I have a picture of the Pride of Baltimore in New York Harbor. Wow. I wonder if that was like an original town hall. I'm just taking a little step here because look at these teeny tiny, these little 1-story shacks. Now, were these the livery stables back in the day? Were these the servants' quarters? This reminds me of London. You get the mews behind the main buildings. Maryland Heritage Properties. Hey, Fox, thank you so much. Best channel for my lazy couch moment. Oh, Semish, you're wonderful. Thank you. But look at these little 1-story. This had to be where the servants or the coachmen or the horses. This is a mews. Now, we don't see these. I've not seen anything like that in or around Baltimore or Philly. Maybe they used to exist, but that's unique. John Leeds Barrel, publisher accused of treason and exiled. What did he do? John Leeds Barrel first walked these courthouse grounds as a prominent Kent County lawyer. In a May 5th letter to the Richmond Inquirer, Barrel and Downs described being held at Baltimore's Fort McHenry and raged about their treatment. We had not been allowed even a form of trial. The pair were then moved to Harper's Ferry, treated as spies. Interesting. So we did pass by the district court building. This looks like it's the old court building. Let's see. This couldn't be a circuit court. It's too small. Oh, wow, Daryl, that's cool. It's a myth. Most folks who start out in family history think that their ancestor had to come through Ellis Island. And that's a big myth because all the other ports were perfectly fine. You didn't have to stop at Ellis Island first and then work your way to Baltimore or Philly. You would come right into Baltimore or Philly or New Orleans. Baltimore was the second busiest of the ports, while many, many, many millions of people came through Ellis Island. People came through other ports as well. On this site stood the courthouse built in 1707, which was burned and repaired in 1720. A new building erected in 1860, remodeled in 1937. Awesome. So I wonder what it is today. I mean, I don't think, not sure, because there is a courthouse around the way. Now is the time. Now is the time to focus on this color. The color of these painted benches. This robin egg, I'm gonna say robin egg blue. We're gonna see this in a few places here around the town square. You see the pattern on these are iron benches, but the pattern is like tree branches and vines. And this fence is also painted in this beautiful blue. As Chestertown grew, so did the need for a larger church. In 1772, parishioners built a new Anglican house of worship. So here's the Anglican. Okay, I was wondering where the Brits were. All right, we'll get out and take a good look at this. We'll cross the street so we can get a good look at it. So here is the old courthouse. Here's the old courthouse. And there is the church. But just before, I'm sorry, I know I'm going back and forth. This is the War Memorial. So we can check that off our bingo card. So there's another good look back at Stam's Hall. Hippocratic growth. Interesting. The courthouse behind the trees. And this war memorial. And we have various monuments for different wars. And this one in memory of more than 400 prominent United States colored troops from Kent County, Maryland, who bravely displayed extraordinary acts of heroism as they faithfully served their country with courage and honor, and in an attempt to gain freedom and equality in their preservation of the Union. And behind that, the Korean War Memorial. Oh, it's the All War. Okay, so then World War II. World War I. And Vietnam. So the historic Vietnam and prior wars, the Civil War, and we have a piece of artillery, so that's a bonus. We already got our bonus on our bingo card. This is a Revolutionary cannon. Hello. Hello. It's hard to read. Revolutionary cannon presented to the Historical Society of Kent County. And another Chestertown sign. What's it pointed at? It's pointed at a tree. It's pointed at the town square. And then here is honoring those who served from Kent and Queen Anne's County in all wars. And there's our other bank. That's the bank that was a bank. So now we have the War Memorial. And here we have our Episcopal Church, our C of E. The churches that predate the Revolution. The Emmanuel Episcopal Church. Today, back in the day, Church of England, Anglican. Today we have a farmer's market. That's another bonus on our Main Street bingo card. Uh-oh, thank you, William. Thanks for letting me know. I'm moving. Now I've got all the bars now. But we've got farmer's market. It's not quite time for me to plant yet. Oh, those look great. Not quite time for me to plant yet. 2 more weeks. There could still be a frost. So we do tend to wait to May. It's got to be May. Now that color that I told you to look out for, that blue, vibrant blue color, is also here in the town fountain. So we can check that off our bingo card too. I think we've got a bingo. No town clock, no funeral home. We didn't get either of those, so it won't be a full card. We've got historic lampposts though. But this is the fountain of all town fountains, and I'm sad that it's not on, because when it is on and when the sunlight is going, this fountain looks absolutely magnificent. This is on all the symbols, the town signs, all the modern references to Chestertown have this beautiful fountain on it in this beautiful blue. We've got a historic street lamp here. And this beautiful big tall fountain. Well, my gosh, I've gone over 2 hours. That's insane. I want to thank everyone for joining me this morning. I really hoped for sunshine. I'm going to go back over that bridge home, and I guarantee it'll be sunny. Please hit that like button if you haven't done so. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you like chill historic chat. No drama, just beautiful buildings and beautiful places. Join us on Stasis Geeks channel at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time today for City of Lost Children. Everyone, take care.